Hi, my name is Amanda, also known as Made by Mandy Roski on Instagram and I guess here. And I decided that I was going to oversaturate the market a little bit more and make my own podcast, knitting podcast. So, a little bit about myself. Um, I've been knitting for probably over 10 years and yeah, I've just been knitting for 10 years and I crochet a little bit. I'm learning how to spin and I want to pick up sewing eventually. I'm currently in nursing school and I graduate this semester. And my husband and I are trying to buy a house. So after I start working and we get a house, I'm going to buy myself a sewing machine. So it's one less heavy thing that I have to move. But anyway, this is primarily going to be about knitting today because that's all I really have right now. Um, my first finished object is what I'm wearing. It's the Dappled Lace Raglan. Ooh, I'm trying not to fall. By James N. Watts. And I'm wearing it under like a little pink top. But I knit this out of Knitting for Olive pure silk in the color cardamom, and I really love it. I mostly picked out the color because it was called cardamom and I love cardamom, and this color is actually pretty true to the color of cardamom. um, I went up a needle size. I think it was supposed to be knit with a size US 5, and I knit it with a US 6 for two reasons. One, I am a tight knitter, so I have to go up. I think from now on I'm going to go up two needle sizes, but I went up one needle size because we were visiting family and I had run out of yarn to knit with, and we were still at my husband's parents' house for like another week and a half when I ran out, and I didn't know what to do with myself because I had brought my spinning, and in all honesty, it's not as fun as people make it look. Like I'm going to keep doing it because I have the supplies, but it's maybe it's just not fun because I don't know what I'm doing yet. But yeah, learning is not fun. So after trying to spin for a few days, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I was like an addict. I started reading Harry Potter because I didn't bring any books with me either. So I started rereading Harry Potter, and while I'm rereading it, I'm like, yeah, I know what happens. I've read it before, seen the movies. I just want to knit. So the day before we went home, I made my husband take me to Michael's, and they had a size 6 needle. I was going to try on a size 5, even though I don't, knowing that I'm a tight knitter, I don't know why I wanted the 5. So luckily, Michael's didn't have that. So I went up one needle size. And it's hard to measure gauge on lace because I don't know how to count the stitches. So I did a gauge swatch and I blocked it and I was like, okay. So I knit a size medium, and with aggressive blocking, I think it ended up being the size of a small, um, which is fine. I like the way it fits. I was really worried because I was like, oh my God, I have to aggressively block this. I hope this fits. Um, and then I did a stretchy I-cord bind off for the neck and the sleeves, and I kind of wish I would have gone back and done it on the bottom. Like, it fits, and like it's not uncomfortable when I wear it, but when I put it on, I can just tell there's no give. But I don't think it's enough for me to care to rip it out and redo it. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. The body fits fine. I can get it over my head. So, and my arms aren't tight or anything. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Um, so there's that. And then this is not blocked yet. So I don't know. Do you consider an object finished when it's off the needles or when it's blocked? Because I consider it finished when it's off the needles. So on Ravelry, I will mark things as finished once it's off the needles because I'm like, okay, I'm done with the active work, but this is definitely, I'm not giving this away. It's for my sister, but I'm not giving this to her like this. Um, so I made a plan that this Christmas I am knitting hats for my sister, my dad, and my brother. My mom is getting a shawl, and then my husband is getting a pair of socks. And I was including something that is currently a whip um, as a Christmas or a birthday gift because his birthday is 2 days after Christmas. But he got really excited and he kept asking about it. When are you going to start my raccoon? When are you going to start my raccoon? So I started it. I'll show it to you later. But anyway, I am knitting, well, I did knit my sister a hipster hat by Petite Knit, and I picked out this yarn with her. We went to Baba Sheep in Norfolk, Virginia. By the way, I'm from Virginia, and I currently live in North Carolina. I don't think I mentioned that in my introduction, but yeah. Anyway, when I went home one time, she went with me to Baba Sheep, and I thought this yarn was so pretty. It's Cascade 220 Superwash in the color Smoke Blue. And my sister, she has like grayish blue eyes, and it's kind of a similar color to her eye color, and I just thought it would look so cool. She also has dark hair, so I thought it would look cool to have a little hat that matched her eye color. I thought it would look cool. So I got 2 skeins of it, and this was just 1 skein. I didn't need the second. I don't know why I got the second. I think this is one of those patterns that the weight is DK, and you could either use DK or you could use 2 strands of fingering. And I think I bought the yarn based on the yardage need for 2 strands of fingering. So that would have been double the amount, and well, I didn't need it. So now I have an extra ball, and maybe I'll knit a matching one for me. But I feel like it wouldn't look as cool because I don't have blue-gray eyes. But that's that. It needs to be blocked, but it's a Christmas gift, so I will get around to blocking it later. And then, oh yeah, I have 2 friends from work who are currently pregnant. They are both due within, I think, a week of each other. They're both due in late April, and they're both having boys. And I'm going to knit, well, I knit one of them the Stretchy Baby Socks by Fabian Schulte. I'm sorry. I did the broken rib on these ones, and these are leftovers from, I knit 1 pair of socks each month last year. I had this, what was it called? This subscription from Ritual Dyes. It was called their Gem Club, and every month they would send you a skein of yarn with the respective birthstone of the month. And I know both the babies are due in April, but this is actually August colorway, Peridot. But I just thought it was so cute and springy, and I feel like it's gender neutral. So like a boy or a girl could wear these, but boys and girls can wear whatever color they want. But I just thought they were so cute. I love the color of these, and when I was knitting them, I literally almost cried over how cute they are. I love baby clothes. I think they're so cute. I don't have any of my own children, but just baby clothes, baby shoes, so cute. But anyway, these are the one that I knit. And then the second one, I'm going to knit out of the September colorway, Sapphire. And I'm going to knit these in the 2x2 rib. So it's the same pattern. It comes with a broken rib motif and then a 2x2 rib motif. So I knit the one, so these will be knit with the other. And I also just really, really love this color. Like, this was one of my favorite colors. Like, my birthday is in June, and I did like the June colorway, but there were some colorways in this collection where I'm like, dang, I wish I would have been born in this month. I keep doing this. I'm picking out dog hair. I have an Aussie, and he sheds like crazy, and so his hair ends up in everything. Like, My husband and I went out to eat once, and there was dog hair in my food because it had fallen off my clothes into my food. I know that's gross. I shouldn't have admitted that to the internet, but I did. Anyway, so those are my finished objects so far, which I'm honestly really surprised that I have knit so much. I'm usually a slow knitter, in my opinion. I feel like I don't get a lot of stuff done, but I think I've been really bad at my time management. So this is my last semester of nursing school, and the way that it goes at my school at least is that the first 8 weeks is all lecture and lab, and we go to school Monday, my class at least. Monday we have lab, but we only go every other week, and then the other weeks are standardized testing that we do. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays we have lecture, and then we do that for the first 8 weeks. And next Wednesday is our content exam. So everything that we've learned, it's basically like our final. So we're taking an exam, and I'm worried about it because I'm not really good at cardiac stuff. And of course, that was the last content that we learned. And I really need to study that. And I've been really bad at my time management. But anyway, Thursdays are my day off. Thursdays and Sundays are my day off from school and work. And then I'm a bartender at a restaurant, and I work on Fridays and Saturdays. But like, I've been really bad with the studying. When I first started nursing school, my first semester, I would go to class, come home, and just study and do homework until bedtime. And then I kind of burnt myself out. And then as the semesters have gone on, I've been more and more relaxed, and this semester is probably not a good semester to be relaxed, but I will do my best. We need an 80 or better to pass, so I think I'll be okay. Talk to me next month when I do another podcast and I'm crying because I failed out. Just kidding. No, I didn't. Knock on wood. Oh my God. Anyway, I have three whips. One is a swatch. So I have 2 active whips. One of them, well, I talked about it earlier, so I'm going to pull that out. Okay, so I am knitting the Raccoon by Claire Garland, who goes by Dot Pebbles on Instagram, and I think that's her company name. And I am knitting a stuffed animal raccoon. It looks kind of janky right now because there's so many loose ends, and it's not really sewn together yet. I just sewed the tail. I used the pattern, I used the yarn that is suggested in the pattern. If you are going to do the same, get a second skein of the gray DK because I ran out of it, and I'm waiting to get another ball of it that I ordered a few days ago. But since the yarn, I think, is primarily, it's drops kid silk and drops sky, and I really do like it. I like the sky a lot. It's very soft, and it's a chainette construction, so it's really airy and fluffy and soft. And it's a shame that it's hard to get in the US. So I had ordered it on Amazon, and I think it's coming from Lithuania. So it's going to take a while to get here. So this is on pause for the time being. And like I said, this was supposed to be a Christmas or birthday gift for my husband, but he got super excited about it. So I'm knitting it now. And depending on when that extra ball of yarn gets here, I may just give it to him for our anniversary, which is in May. Oh yeah, this is the only, she calls for an ochre colored mohair, and even in the pattern, she straight up says you don't really need a lot. If you don't want to buy an extra skein of yarn, just use, I think, this color. But I had some Biche Bouche silk mohair. This is the color Yellow Mustard. So I was like, oh, it's just a little, I'm just going to steal that much from one of them. Come to find out the pattern that I want to knit for, I don't have enough of that yarn anyway. So I'm probably going to have to buy an extra skein of that anyway. So really no harm done by stealing just this little amount of the yellow mustard. But anyway, I'm super excited about this, and I don't blame my husband for being excited. It's so soft. I kind of wish you could feel it through the screen. It's just really soft, and I can't wait to finish it. It's extremely addicting. If I had had that extra skein of the gray mohair or the gray DK, I don't think it would be done now, but I could be sewing at this point. I probably could be done with all of the knitting, and I would be seaming everything together. So yeah, there's that. Super excited about it. I even have the little eyes, the little craft eyes, and then I have the stuffing for it. It doesn't tell you how much stuffing that you need though, so I got two bags of 2 ounce amount, so I hope that's enough, because I thought they had a 10 ounce bag, and I was like, I mean, better have more than not enough, but also that's a lot, and I don't think I'm gonna use it. So I bought 2 ounces, so I hope it's enough. We'll see. If not, the craft store still exists. I've been like really bad at losing yarn chicken, so I feel like I probably didn't get enough stuffing. Speaking of losing yarn chicken, my other work in progress is the Sophie scarf by Petite Knit, and I lost it yarn chicken the first time I tried to knit this. I wanted a long one anyway, and I think when I went to the yarn store, I also got this at Baba Sheep, a different time than when I got the Cascade yarn. And I think I told her I wanted to knit the shawl, but I actually wanted to knit the scarf. I wanted something long, that I could wrap around my neck in the wintertime, as if we had even had winter in North Carolina. I think it's 48 degrees. It's actually chilly today, but I think the upcoming week is supposed to be like 60s and 70s. So we don't get winter here. Anyway, oh no, I made a mistake. Oh well. It's literally the tiniest mistake. It's 1 stitch. I knit instead of purled, or purled instead of knit. It's not a big deal. But anyway, she told me to get 2 skeins. It's Plymouth Baby Alpaca DK, and the colorway is a number. And on Ravelry, I've seen people call it butter or light yellow or cream or something. It's definitely yellow. I would say if I called it, there we go. I would say that if I named it, I would call it butter. It is the color of butter, in my opinion, which is not in my color palette. I just wanted something neutral-y to go with any kind of jacket. But yeah, the first time I knit this, the pattern calls for size 4 US needles, and I knit it with size 5 because I was like, even though I know I knit tightly, I was like, okay, well, I'll knit it 1 needle size up. Maybe it'll hit gauge. Honestly, it's a scarf. Who really cares? And then I was going to knit with the 1 ball until I ran out, and then I was going to start the decreases. Well, I didn't measure my balls. I didn't weigh my yarn before I started the project. And I was like, I think I was like in the middle of a row when I ran out of the first one. And so I was like, it's just going to be a little bit. So I continued on increasing because I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. I don't know what I was thinking. Basically, I ran out of yarn with probably this much to go. And I was like, I was a little lazy, so I was like, I'll just find a color that's similar in my stash and try to fudge it. I didn't really like the look of it, so I ripped it all out. And I went up another needle size, and after measuring the gauge, it's not obviously not blocked, but the unblocked gauge is actually the gauge that the pattern calls for. And then I weighed my skeins of yarn, and it's supposed to be 50 skeins each. One was 47 and one was 48, so I was kind of mad about that. So this time that I'm knitting it, I started with the lighter skein, and it perfectly ended at the end of one of the repeats. So this one I think is going to be more successful. So I started doing the decreases, and yeah, I just kind of can't wait for it to be done, because it's kind of like my second time knitting it, and now I'm ready for it to be done. It was really fast. The first time I knit it, it was really fast because I was like, ooh, I want to see how far I can get with this one ball. So I just kept knitting and knitting and knitting, and then yeah, it was unsuccessful. So, oh well. And then I have a swatch, so I'm going to be participating in the DRK March to May knit along, and I know that Andrea Mowry also has a traveler knit along, but it's the Spin It to Knit It. And I was thinking about getting, I have like plain Rambouillet yarn or fiber that I'm spinning, and I really like fine yarns, so I think I probably should have asked, I don't want to unwrap this, but I think I should have asked for a lighter spindle, but this is what we're working with. That's a little bit better. Okay, anyway, so this is what we're working with. It's just undyed Rambouillet, and it's super soft, and I was thinking that once I'm done spinning all of this, I want to get a dyed yarn and spin it, and then I think it's a combo spin. I think that's what it's called when you knit multiple different types of fiber together. Did I say knit when you spin? So I'm thinking about getting a dyed fiber and spinning that, and then plying 2 or 3 together. And I think I was thinking about knitting the Traveler cowl, so maybe I'm unofficially participating in that. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to participate in the March to May knit along, and I'm going to knit the Traveler hoodie. And my desk is so unorganized right now. But anyway, that's why you can't see it at all. I have an L-shaped desk. You don't care. Anyway, so I am knitting it in, I think it's Quince Fiber Company Chickadee, in the color Electric Blue, which was a limited edition color, and I saw it, and I love Electric Blue. I did that color analysis, and I think I knew it already, but I am a deep winter, which means I should be wearing cool colors, which I already kind of knew. A lot of the colors that are on the deep winter color palette, I just subconsciously was buying in my clothes anyway. But regardless, I impulsively bought it, and I only have 10 skeins right now, and I need 11 for the size 3. So I ordered an extra skein. Thank God a company still had it, because I bought this sometime last year. But anyway, I made this swatch, and it calls for size 5 needles for the main fabric. And thank God I was like, you know what? Every time you've gone up 1 needle size, it's still too small. Try for 2 needle sizes. So I knit this with a size 7. And as I was knitting it, I was like, I think it actually might be a little bit too big. And then when I soaked it and took it out of the water, I was measuring it wet, which I feel like you're not supposed to do. So I was measuring it wet, and I was like, this is huge. I'm just going to wait for it to dry, and I'm going to rip it out and knit it in the size 6. But then when I waited for it to completely dry, I measured it out, and it's on point. So I'm going to knit it in a size 7. I don't remember where I was going with this, but knitting it size 7, main needles. and I'm knitting the hoodie. And I got one of those, what are they called? Hold on. Please pause. So I got the cord smith, and I know how to knit an I cord, but I didn't think I wanted to knit an I cord for like, I think it's 45 inches for the drawstring. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that, but like it needs to be done. So I got one of those cord smiths. So um, we'll figure out how that works. Um, and I am on the fence as to whether or not I want to knit the I cord in the same color yarn or if I want to do a contrasting color. And if I do, it's definitely going to be from Stash. But I haven't really picked out any options. I haven't gone through my stash and really picked out a good option. So ultimately, I think it is going to end up being in the same color yarn. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about it. I've been thinking about this. Honestly, this was intended to be my March to May knit along knit. So I've been wanting to knit it, but I've just been waiting until March. So yeah, that's been on the plans, been on the books. Anyway, I actually am super excited. This fabric is so soft. I keep touching it. Even in the skein, it was so soft. And I'm excited to wear this. I'm excited for it to be done. A lot of the sweaters that I do have, I do kind of treat like sweatshirts. I'll wear them around the house. I'll just throw them on because my husband and my dog like the house to be really cold. And I am always cold. So, like I said, a lot of my sweaters end up being lounge around sweaters, sweatshirts, whatever. So now I will officially have a little sweatshirt hoodie that I knit. So yeah, I think that is everything knitting wise that I want to talk about. Yeah. So I think this is a different angle. So I went back and watched what I had recorded, and I'm gonna re-record the part about what I'm currently reading and watching. I know a lot of knitters like to do that. I had recorded that section twice, and it ended up turning into a rant that would have had to be its own video. And I don't plan on becoming a book or movie review channel. I mean, maybe, who knows? But that is not the plan right now. So I'm going to do a more condensed version of what I had talked about. Anyway, so I'm currently reading Dune Messiah, which is the second book in the Dune series. I had read the first Dune. I finished it, I want to say sometime over the summer. It took me forever to read. It's a good book. I like the story. However, there is a lot of world building, and there are a lot of names that I think most of the names were based on the Arabic language, which I have never been exposed to. So I sometimes would struggle with how to pronounce it. And then I'd be like, okay, well, this is not a familiar word to me. And I was trying to remember like who this person was or what this place was. That by the time I got halfway through the book, I'm like, wait, hold on. Like I missed a whole lot of stuff trying to focus on that stuff. But I want to read it again. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking of stopping reading Dune Messiah. I'm like 4 or 5 chapters in. It is easier to read, and I think it's because the world building has been established. But I kind of want to go back and read Dune now that I have a firm grasp of who everybody is and what all these places are. So I don't know. I might go back and reread it. Who knows? But what I'm watching is relevant. I went to a fan's first premiere of Dune Part 2 last Sunday, or this past Sunday that just happened. So Dune Part 2 is not supposed to be released until tomorrow, May 1st, but you know, a lot of popular movies, they'll do a Thursday premiere. So you can go see it tonight. And I suggest that you do go see it tonight. It was really good. I love Denis Villeneuve. He's one of my favorite directors. I just really love how he makes these epic films, but they have a very intimate tone to them. They're very grand. The stories are very grand, but in the end, you ultimately deeply care about the main characters and you know all about them. So I feel like he successfully does this in Dune Part 1 and 2. Um, and to keep this from turning into a rant, all I'm going to say is that there are a lot of changes from the book to the movie. Most of them I liked, and one of them I hated. And since this movie is technically not released yet, and because I don't want to turn it into a rant, I'm not going to do any spoilers. So there the most I'm going to say is there is a certain character where they deviate from how said character is written in the book. This is my dog is yawning. That's what that weird sound is. But anyway, there's a certain character where they deviate from the book. And over the course of the movie, I just felt myself getting more and more angry. Where anytime this character would slightly go off, I would be like, what are you doing? No, no, no. And it's not Jessica. I like what they did with Jessica. But if you watch the movie and you see how Jessica is different from the book, I liked that. It wasn't her. But anyway, like I said, I hate it for the fact that, hello, Morty. I hate it in the fact that it's just, they're deviating from the book, and I don't know if they're going to continue. Hello. Hi, baby. I don't know if Dune Part 3 is going to be based on Messiah or if it's going to be Denis Villeneuve's own the brainchild. I think the change will be good, but I just have to get over being a brat and being one of those people who are like, they changed it, so I hate it. I like when they change things, because I was saying to my husband one day, it was even before we watched the movie. I'm sorry. It was before we watched the movie, and I was like, well, I do like when they make changes, because if something is completely true to the source material, then there's no reason to consume the original source material anymore. So if they had made the other changes and kept said character at least along the lines of like where the trajectory we're going, like this person is not going along with the original story. But if they had kept that person staying along with the original story, then I'd be like, okay, I loved it. Like, I gave it a 4-star review on Letterboxd, and it would have been 5-star had they not changed this character. But anyway, that is my short attempt to be spoiler-free, an attempt to not rant for 20 minutes, which I think I did rant for like between 10 to 15 minutes on each of those previous takes, because I really don't like this change. But to end it on a positive note, like I said, it was a very good movie. Go see it, whether you've read the book or not. Just be prepared to potentially be upset if you've read the book. But one character in particular that I really love is Fade Routha. The characterization in this movie, so good. Like, he's just this very vile, disgusting character. And the way that Austin Butler plays him, so good. I was like, there was a point in the movie where I literally was like, ew. But I love it. You're perfect for this character. And then the gladiator scene on Gaidi Prime, which I don't know exactly. Is it Gaidi or Gaidi? Gaidi Prime? See, I told you I struggle with the names. But anyway, the gladiator scene, so good. All of the scenes on Gaidi Prime, so good. It was like you were watching two separate movies. Like there were the Fremen scenes and then there were the Harkonnen scenes, and honestly, I kind of liked the Harkonnen scenes better. There was a Harkonnen scene where um, they're monitoring Arrakis and they're seeing where their soldiers are, um, and they were using like holographic maps. And in that scene, I literally was like, I'm witnessing history right now. Like I am witnessing this film being added to every best sci-fi movies ever, sci-fi movies you have to see before you die. Like this movie is going to be one of the best sci-fi movies. I mean, it is, but I mean, I think it is, but I really do think that it will be known as one of the best sci-fi movies ever. Um, Even though I hated that one little thing. But other than that, yes, it was very good. And my husband and I are actually going to go see it again on Sunday. So maybe now that I've like digested all of this stuff, when I watch it again, I may like it a little bit better. I may understand the changes a little bit better. But yeah, I liked it. I think you should go see it. But anyway, that is the end of this video. I have to take my dog on a walk. That's why he's crying. But anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, comment and tell me why. If it has anything to do with me ranting and getting off topic, that might not change. But yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my knitting page is made by _ Mandy Roske, and my last name is Roeske. And I'll link that down below, and I'll link the project pages to everything that I have knit and am going to knit. And let me know if you're participating in the Andrea Mowry March to May knit along, because I'd like to see what you're knitting too. But yeah, thanks for watching. And also, if I do more of these videos, it's probably going to be on a month-by-month basis. A, because I don't know if I have the time to do a weekly thing, and B, because I don't think I'm productive enough to have a lot of stuff to really even talk about once a week. Yeah, I feel like I'd be like, hi, I knit an inch on this. See you next week. So I think a month is a good enough time for me to make any sort of progress. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you whenever I see you.